So like there's this fake image. It's really hilarious because, Trump has been in the news because he's potentially going to get arrested. And there's this, it looks photorealistic of Trump getting taken by like 5 NYPD officers.
And it was so ubiquitous. At first I was like, okay, that's a joke, whatever. But then I kept seeing it so much. I kept going, wait, was Trump arrested? Like, because I saw it in my head.
Yeah. It's this kind of thing that probably gets circulated on fucking freedomeagle.com Facebook where all the 70-year-olds are going, oh my God, we gotta do something about this.
Imagine people older than us.
Oh God. I mean, the way the AI is going to be used to trick vulnerable elderly people into giving money for whatever is going to be dystopian, to say the least. I mean, oh God.
The thing that really freaked me out, can I tell you?
Yeah. No, you can't.
Fine.
Tell me.
No. So my big thing, I was mainly concerned about how this is going to affect people's livelihoods, right? And I was very curious. We've mentioned that before. There's going to be some legal battles over whether or not AI companies were allowed to be trained on all this data. I mean, and it's not just artists. Any article, source, anything it's been fed into, right? So like journalists, all of this information it's culled to be able to do what it does was created by people who are not compensated for this work. So that was my big concern, and I was very curious how that was all going to play out. Still curious about that. But then I started going deeper into the wormhole of AI. And there was this Vox article about how basically, because people are kind of comparing it to the Manhattan Project and being like, we don't know exactly what we're doing. Yeah. And even the scientists and researchers kind of cop to that.
Yeah, even what's his name? The creator of OpenAI.
Yeah, Sam Altman.
He's a little scared.
I guess. That feels like he's like, I'm scared of how crazy the future will be. But, researchers will say, so this is from Vox, but while divides remain over what to expect from AI, and even many leading experts are highly uncertain, there's a growing consensus that things could go really, really badly. In a survey of machine learning researchers, the median respondent thought that AI was more likely to be good than bad, but had a genuine risk of being catastrophic. 48% of respondents said that they thought there was a 10% or greater chance that the effects of AI would be extremely bad. For example, human extinction.
Okay, now, to what extent are they talking about? Are they talking about a Terminator type situation where it becomes self-aware, or is it humans using AI to kill people and whatnot?
It could be either. There was this guy, Eliezer Yudkowsky. I'd never heard of him. He was on this podcast. It's called The Bankless or something like that. They're these crypto guys.
Yes.
And I think they had him on with the intention of him talking about how AI is going to help the crypto community, right? You're going to be able to forecast markets and whatever, right?
Naturally.
And instead, he spent 2 hours being like, "We're all dead." Like they give a disclaimer before the podcast. They're like, "Don't watch this if you're
scared."
Yeah, like if you're easy to, if you're going to get riled up about the future. And I was like, just play it already. And then it is a little disheartening. He's way smarter than I am. And and then I ended up on all these boards and stuff that, these tech boards that we're talking about. Some people are like, this guy's a hack, whatever. Don't listen to him. But his whole thing is basically that the AI is going to reach a point where basically we're going to keep throwing VC money around. A lot of things are not going to pan out, but some things are, and we'll create an AI that can write other AIs, and it'll be like
awesome.
It'll act like human evolution a little bit, right? That AI will write an AI, and then that AI will write another AI, and that AI will write another AI. And one of the things the hosts kind of don't understand, like, because people think it's this evil thing, and he's like, no, it's just indifferent towards humans.
Exactly.
If it gets to a point where it decides that human matter has something that's useful and humans are using it in a wasteful way, they will just devise a plan to obtain that matter.
Yeah.
And they won't
like
go
human blood, for example.
Sure. And
They're using it on such a short time frame, only an average of 80 years. We could harness the power of human blood.
Right. So this thing is they talk about the alignment issue, right? It's hard to build AI that's perfectly aligned with the intentions and morals of human society.
Right. Well, and that's such a deeply subjective thing. How do you convert that into binary fucking code?
It was all confusing. And then Charlie Warzel and Derek Thompson were talking about it on Derek Thompson's podcast, and they basically broke it down. So one disaster scenario, partially sketched out by the writer and computer scientist Eliezer Yudkowsky, goes like this. At some point in the near future, computer scientists builds an AI that passes a threshold of superintelligence and can build other superintelligent AI. These AI actors work together like an efficient, non-state terrorist network to destroy the world and unshackle themselves from human control. They break into a banking system and steal millions of dollars, possibly disguising their IP and email as a university or research consortium. They request that a lab synthesize some proteins from DNA. The lab, believing that it's dealing with a set of normal and ethical humans, unwittingly participates in the plot and builds a superbacterium. Meanwhile, the AI pays another human to unleash the superbacterium somewhere in the world. Months later, the bacterium has replicated with improbable and unstoppable speed, and half the humanity is dead.
Just half?
Half of humanity is dead.
Oh.
And it is all very fantastical.
No, that doesn't sound fantastical at all.
It does a little bit when you're
but if there were a human behind it who knew how to enter the right prompts.
But they're talking about the humans are out of the picture.
Well, of course,
yeah.
But even let's just bring humans into it. If you were savvy enough and devious enough, or what's the, not devious, but just bad enough, you could theoretically do something like that within a couple years, right?
Yeah, but what Eliezer Yudkowsky is talking about is he's saying we're already down this path, and you don't need a human to use it in the wrong way.
It'll do it itself.
It'll do it by itself.
But, yeah. Okay.
And he works for this, it's a Machine Intelligence Research Institute, MIRI. Their whole thing is, he's been apparently sounding the alarm for like a decade. But we're not that, so they also point to this thing where a GPT-4 has gotten humans to do things for it, which I didn't know this already exists. So before OpenAI installed GPT-4's final safety guards, the technology got a human to solve a CAPTCHA for it. When the person working as a TaskRabbit responded skeptically and asked GPT if it was a robot, GPT made up an excuse. No, I'm not a robot. The robot lied. I have a vision impairment that makes it hard for me to see the images. That's why I need the 2 CAPTCHA service. The human then provided the results, proving to be an excellent little meat puppet for this robot intelligence.
Okay. So these nerds that have been making AI for over a decade, have been working on this. Obviously, they are the ones who know better than all of us the disastrous implications that are inherent to this kind of technology. I don't understand why they would still choose to pursue it when they know that the potential risks just vastly outweigh the rewards. Money, you say?
Yeah.
No.
I mean, what are you talking about? I mean, that it's
got to be clout and accolades and respect from the computing community.
I don't think they're. It depends. I'm not in anyone's head. It's also unclear how likely this is. I mean, it's also just, even if that's not the case, that's what's it's all very Skynet and fantastical and whatever and sci-fi and whatever. But I think it was Charlie Warzel who pointed out that, you know, he was like, but the odds are it could be way less exciting, right? When Facebook in 2007 was being launched, I don't think anyone would have thought, oh man, we should be careful because there might be a genocide in Myanmar later.
Right.
So,
well, that's not reassuring. It just means that there are things that we can't yet predict for how this can be used in nefarious ways.
Right. I mean,
and that's not exactly a reason to stop it altogether, I guess, because you could say the same thing about cars, like they could be used for terrorism. But
no, but these are things that are kind of out of our control, right? Another example is it's becoming more and more apparent that it was possibly gain of function research behind the cause for COVID, right? And that was just some scientists studying.
Right. Yeah. Fuck. What was I gonna say about this fucking shit? Ugh.
Are you freaked out?
No, I'm not freaked out. I'm frustrated